All right, welcome back.
From
You were just in Mexico City. Sorry for the break, guys. Tino was in Mexico, and then I got mad at him because he didn't tell me he was leaving. And then the show got away from us.
But the show must go on.
I hated last week's just odds, fights, all that stuff.
You want to know what's funny is that we talked about it. Oh, this card sucks, blah, blah, blah. There's actually some really good upsets, though.
Yeah, there was. Honestly, that fucking the whatever guy with the twitch and the eye.
Oh. You want to know what's funny is, so I did my write-up for the whole show, and my write-up for that fight was like something like really simple. Like you have a 10-0 Russian against the Brazilian. Who do you think they want to win? And blah, 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 and whatever. I actually thought it was a different Brazilian. And this Brazilian, not to say that I was like...
He's the guy you text me about, and you're like, this guy is terrifying.
Yeah, the Brazilian, right? Yes, I liked him.
But his fight style does not match what you said.
No.
At all.
Because I was looking at the write-up of all the other fights, and that one I was like, oh, I don't care about this. Like, think about it. I actually thought it was, one of the guys on the card here fought him. Christian Leroy Duncan fought him, the Brazilian.
Gregory Rodriguez?
No, gosh.
Wait, he did fight him.
Yeah.
He knocked him out.
He did fight him. No, but he fought the Brazilian as well. Haberio.
That's who he fought.
No. I mean, they're all Haberio at this point, but it was Claudio Haberio.
That's who just fought.
No, that was not the guy that just fought.
Click on it. You're on his thing. Click on it.
No. It's a different guy. He fought Cassio de Oliveira last. He's out of the UFC. No, so it was a different one. Who's that Russian Sayat? What the hell is his name? Claudio Haberio is the guy that just throws the big looping left hooks and those big bomb punches.
Yeah.
I thought it was him. So I was like, oh yeah, we're done here. And then when I saw them fighting, because I was on the plane coming back from Mexico when they were fighting, I was like, oh, this is a different Brazilian. That's the one I actually liked. We were in the back in the corner, and I was like, dude, he looks really good. This guy looks amazing.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that made me laugh. But yeah.
But his fight style is nothing like you described. He's not a big, scary, crazy striker. He got whooped on and then Kimura'd him.
No, but in the back, watching him warm up and do stuff, I was so impressed. He really did look good. And then in the fight, he ended up winning the fight.
By Kimura, yeah.
Is that when I was in the back with him, though.
Oh.
So I remember texting you, and you were like, well, he's about to lose. But he ended up winning by
he beat Kyle Machado by a split decision or something.
Yep, that was it. So, yeah, anyway, Mexico City is crazy. It's not crazy. It's not crazy at all. I was expecting cartel and to have my head chopped off.
Looks way fun, yeah?
We were in the place called, like a part of the town called Polanco, I think is what it was. A really nice area, affluent. Like I ate Mexican food one day while I was in Mexico City. Every day I would wake up and I would go to this coffee shop across the street. I would eat like some berry bowl for breakfast and lunch pretty much, and 37 cups of coffee. And then for dinner, we ate like Italian food, Mediterranean food, Chinese food, like everything. I ate Mexican food one day for lunch, and that was it. I was telling producer Camuela over here, I think I lost like 6 pounds while I was in Mexico.
Just eating fresh
eating healthy. Yeah. Instead of like processed. I came home and was eating like baked potato fry, just disgusting. I was like, yeah, I'll put the weight right back on.
I couldn't believe, so like you've been a lot more places than me, but I remember going to London when I was 16. I went for a jiu-jitsu tournament, and I was like crazy skinny, healthy at the time. And I remember looking around going like, dude, I don't see a single fat person here in London.
Yeah.
And I realized the reason is one, a lot more like real actual ingredients. And first of all, London food is awful. So like
the worst.
That's not like
the worst.
Yeah. It's not like, oh my God, this is such tasty cuisine.
Yeah. You're not in Paris.
But the thing was, so I got everything other than what was food from London. Like you get Korean food and whatever. But basically what was happening was the prices were the same as what they'd be in America, but the portions were like a quarter of the size.
Yeah, it really is.
And so you just literally could not afford to be fat. Where here you're like, oh, McDonald's has a 3 for $5 special and it's 1,500 calories. You know what I mean? Like it's just a big difference. I guess.
Well, it shows you how expensive good food is in America, like healthy food.
It's not though. It's really not. Like I just did this thing last week where I just got like 6 different types of protein, like turkey, steak, chicken, whatever, fish. And then I just got 10 sweet potatoes, and it really wasn't that expensive. And I still have it from like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. But man, to try and feed a family of 4, like on a regular basis.
How much are apples?
I don't know, ask Kindle.
89 cents an apple?
Yeah, ask maybe. Maybe they are. I don't. You could tell me $30 or 7 cents. I don't know.
I just laugh because I always listen to Adam Carolla, and Adam Carolla has like a really good come up because he was super poor growing up. And then, people always give that excuse, man, it's so expensive to eat healthy, but like an apple is super cheap. And now you can say, oh, well, eggs are super expensive, but a carton of eggs is $6. And
yeah, but an apple is not going to fill you up for dinner. You need like protein, but chicken, like chicken, ground beef, like this stuff is pricey compared to dollar menu at McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Maybe,
like it's
but
not,
it feeds you for a while. I don't know.
Well, even if you look at like a box of cereal, I mean, you can get a box of cereal for way less than you could get bacon and eggs and homemade potatoes. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's going to cost a lot more money to buy even just fresh ingredients.
Can we get someone to do the breakdown analysis for us?
Yeah.
What it would actually cost? Because I feel like what you're actually paying for is a little bit of convenience. And that's what you're kind of trying to bake into this.
No, you could as well. Yeah. I mean, part of that is, especially, and I'm not like going on the, people can't afford stuff and blah, 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 but it just.
A bag of potatoes, like $2.
I think it's a lot more convenient, and between the convenience and time of people who don't have a lot of money, because people who don't have a lot of money don't have a lot of extra time either because they're working more. I think it's a lot, like a single mom of like 3 kids.
Sometimes all they have is time. Sometimes they're on the government teat.
I know. I'm not saying that but I feel like it's a lot easier, and
sometimes that's why they're broke, is because all they have is time. Yeah. They won't go get a job.
That's true.
I was listening to Carolla on this other guy. His name is Graham Hancock, I think. He's the guy that does all the finance videos on YouTube.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I love him. He's a super educated, really, really well-spoken guy. And so he had Adam Carolla on. It's funny listening to Carolla on any other podcast because it's no longer that person's podcast. He just talks for an hour and a half.
Carolla's podcast.
Just straight him ranting. Best ranter you've ever heard in your life. I don't even remember where I was going with that.
There are some people who have the gift of gab.
Oh,
and he's one of them.
The Graham was like, so Adam, what do you think it takes for someone to be successful in life, to do this and this in life? And he goes, honestly, it just boils down to go get a job.
Yeah.
Save your money, go get a job.
Yeah, work.
There's no secret.
Work.
Just get a job.
Yeah, we're back. Last week we weren't. Here we are again. Like I said, Mexico City was cool. The PI was weird down there.
What's different?
Nobody's in it. So like in the morning you'd go there and they have a lot of classes. So there's a couple of people running the PI. People are like not regular people, but like invitees are at the PI doing stuff. And then they have like classes for them, almost like the Shanghai PI, how it's like trying to bring people up and stuff. So we would go there in the morning, then at night, and by 11:30, it's like pretty cleared out. It's like siesta time. But then at night, like, I mean, there would be nobody there except for fighters getting ready for Mexico City card who don't even live in Mexico, who would like be there trying to acclimate, doing their own thing. So it's weird how just quiet and unused it is. I mean, the whole thing where you go to the Vegas PI, there's people there all day, every day.
Running practices, doing work. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot. And then they don't have the level of like opulence that they do at the Vegas PI, like the food.
Well, you couldn't, because you don't have enough people that are attending it. Like, why would you spend that much resources?
Yeah, but even little things like the food options there are not anywhere near the same. To get a towel, like in the Vegas PI, like you just go in the locker room and you grab as many towels as you want and you use them.
They have you on
No, in Mexico, you had to give an ID or your passport to get a towel. They're not giving you a towel. And it was like, I don't know how many towels got stolen before they implemented that rule, but too many towels.
Well, I don't want to say anything, but
yeah, don't say it. Don't say it. Shh.
Mexico City, everybody.
This week we have London.
The cartel's just going to start selling towels on the side. They've been taking over.
Oh man. So we've got London this week. I like this card.
It's a fun card and a lot of good prospect.
Not even from a betting standpoint so much. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know the odds. Like, but I do like a lot of the fights on the card. Are we gonna do this?
What do you think, Kamala?
We ready?
Give it a little thumb, like a little shaky thumb.
Little thumbs up, thumbs down.
We're good to go.
If we get 2/3.
Before we go, sign up to Patreon.
Yes.
Shout out the Discord.
BKFC Philly this week should be really nice. I have all my write-ups done. I'm going to post them today.
Okay. It's $25 a month, which is nothing. I mean, really, like even 25. We've said it before. It's like, oh, it's like a coffee a week. At this point, it's like one coffee a month. It's like you go to Starbucks and don't spend $25. Like, man, you've done it well. You got a drip coffee.
I do the like the coffee's like becoming too much. I started drinking coffee at home a long time ago. Just so you guys know, it doesn't really make you rich to like drink coffee at home. It's the same. I just prefer it actually. I get the drink from our favorite coffee shop right down there, Lux. It's like $11.
Oh, it's insane.
I mean, it is 6 shots of espresso, but it's the same thing.
It's a lot of shots.
Actually, that's kind of a good deal if you really think about it. One espresso is like $3.40.
What do we got? We got fights.
All right, fight number 1, opening up the card. Guram Kutateladze minus 450 versus Caolán Fernandes plus 350.
How is Guram a fight card opener?
He needs a bounce back.
I know, but still being so low on the card, like
I think it's because he's going to start it off with fireworks. Like I don't see a way he doesn't just murder this guy.
Yeah.
Fernandes like chin up, sloppy striking, slow, unathletic. Like I don't know. Maybe he surprises people, but Guram's already been surprised many times now. Like he got rocked in his last fight. He lost to Brenner. I think he's going to murder this guy.
Well, I think the thing with Guram is he, even in his last fight, who's fighting later, Vucenic is Vucenic. What is it? What did we say it was?
Vucenic?
Vucenic. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, he was right in Guram's
names on the card.
He was right in Guram's face and was right there, just like pressuring, ready to counter. He was there, pressuring the whole time. Even again, and then against Elvis Brenner, who was just a wild man. That was just a brawl. And Guram really had that fight in the bag, and then just got hit with that elbow that really, screwed him up. But Cow or whatever it is, Fernandes, he stays on the outside. And I think that's going to be the difference is if you stay on the outside and let Guram like have time to pick you apart, like do you really want those problems?
Well, I thought my chin up was always in the air when I strike, and you're going to say it is.
Well, it's not
this dude goes like this.
Yeah. It's well, and he's good. He is actually good. I like him.
Good offense.
Good offense. Doesn't pressure. And then we saw him against
don't say Muhammad.
No, the fight before that.
Okay.
Mohammed, geez.
That dude should not be.
Dude.
That's the worst guy in the UFC.
He's a heavy bag. That was horrible. No, against Mark Diakasi or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Who Mark can wrestle. Mark is a good wrestler at this point. But he just got out-wrestled. And I think...
He had some good moments on the feet. He definitely hurt Diakasi. I said it right this time. He hurt his leg pretty bad. He was switching stances, and he was shooting for his life.
But Diakasi was also landing some good overhands. And I think Guram's chin isn't what it once was. But I also think he had a bad weight cut for that Brenner fight. Something weird, like whatever. So, no, I'm with you. I think he picks Fernandes apart.
You think he gets a finish or decision?
I would say decision only because he's not a finishing guy. I don't know.
He could be. I think his level of competition. I mean, I guess not level of competition. That's a weird statement. I don't know. I feel like these guys are overperforming.
He's fighting Tamir. He's fighting Gamrot. He's fighting really good guys. So it's hard to.
And Elvis Brenner.
Yeah.
Vucenic.
Yeah. But Vucenic. Gosh, I can't speak. Vucenic.
Yeah, that's one of the easier names. On
yeah,
the card.
I think he's good. I like him.
He is good.
So. And I thought, style-wise, that's a hard fight for Guram to fight. And I thought Guram did well, though.
All right. I mean, he was a massive favorite. He should have done well, but...
He was a massive favorite against Brenner as well.
Wow.
Didn't work out for us.
All right, moving on. Next up, we have Loughran plus 100 versus Nathan Fletcher minus 130.
You said Kaolán Kieran.
What an idiot.
Wouldn't it? Oh, my gosh. What a jackass.
It's one of the harder names on the
That
card.
was one of the easier names on the card.
Oh, my gosh. Why would he even say it like that, Kaolán?
Is it Kieran?
Oh, my gosh. It's Kieran.
I've been walking to his big fucking square face and being like, what's up, Cal?
Oh, no, I say like...
What is it for real, though?
No, I don't know. It's...
I know you watch the show. What the fuck's your name?
No, it's like... Because it's not like... Well, I don't even know what it is because he has such an accent that he's like, it's Kieran. I'm like, what?
I had a 10-minute conversation with him. I didn't understand a word. Nicest guy in the world.
I love him. I actually wore today. Gosh,
his jersey?
Yeah, I meant to get a picture of it and post it because I wore his jersey today. He sent it to me. Like
sick-ass jersey.
Oh, I love it. So anyway, man, he is just a block of a human. He's tough as hell. I'm not going to talk too much about this because we spoke about it beforehand. I didn't really want to talk.
You gave the locks right before.
Yeah.
You told me who's going to win the fight right before this, but we're not going to say.
We're not going to mention it. But I love him, man. He's awesome. He's been out with us a few different times and stuff. So, yeah. Well, hopefully he does well. Hopefully
I can go on this one a little bit.
Go for it.
I think it's a good fight for him, actually. These two have fought before, way back in amateurs. And here's a couple of things I was looking at. One, how old is he? Do we know his age just off the top?
Can't be old. Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Okay. So they fought, and this is one thing that we were talking about. He is so stiff. Like, you look at him, he is like just.
He's 28 years old.
He's 28 now. So 7 years ago, he was 21. How old is Fletcher? Do we have an age on him?
Fletcher is 27.
I mean, all right, this is going to kind of kill the argument because they were both pretty young. Not that I thought Fletcher was old to begin with, but this was back in the day, and it looked like Caolán had a good first initial takedown defense, but then what Fletcher was doing is he'd cut corners and just cut angles and eventually get him down. Once he was down, that was a lot tougher. He did throw up a couple cool submission things, which is interesting. I didn't know like someone that build
rotund,
has like submissions. You know what I mean? You just kind of like roll up. I think things are going to be a lot different now.
He's like a wombat.
What is? I don't even know what a wombat looks like.
Like a little like.
Can you eat those?
I don't know.
I'm sure they do somewhere. So
Brazil.
Hey, come on, Brazilian man, take your wife or something. I think he just really he's super strong, obviously, but I think he's grown into his body a lot. And I think one of the other things too, the fight that I really liked of his was against Dylan Hazan. I think it was his last fight in Cage Warriors. That dude is like the most boring, pure wrestler, but he's a good wrestler. Like, he's fast, dynamic. He cuts corners just like Fletcher's going to do. The thing with Fletcher is I think his optics are going to look really bad if he's not getting takedowns. And he's not a bad striker. I mean, his striking is pretty good. He just doesn't seem comfortable in it. He doesn't seem like he can go 15 minutes just in a striking fight. He's striking just until he can get the takedown. If he doesn't, I think it's going to be tough because Caolán's going to be in his face. He hits hard. He's got a good chin. He's going to press him the entire time. His sprawls as of late have looked amazing. And I think even if he does get taken down, I think he knows the drill to get right back up. You said it's hard to control him. It's hard to really do much with him. And then even in Fletcher's last fight, we saw Ramdagmagamagamagis Kutateladze reversing him constantly. And I think Caolán's leagues above that guy too, just in MMA in general, in grappling, in striking, all that stuff. I think I like Caolán as an underdog here.
All right. Next, we have Shauna Bannon minus 183 versus Puja Tomar plus 158.
I actually watched tape on this.
And you're going to go Puja?
Yeah.
By far, right?
Right?
It's not even close.
All right, so maybe it's close. And here's I'm trying to look, the UFC wants Bannon to win.
No, they do not.
Oh, they don't?
Fuck no. They've been trying to break into Indian markets forever. Look at Jubilee. They've been begging Jubilee to get a win. They gave him Mike
Bannon's
Breeden.
A pretty, is she Irish? Pretty Irish girl.
Do you think she's pretty?
I mean,
she's like the Jersey Shore of Ireland.
She is. But she has no power at all.
She's got weird Taekwondo striking, no grappling.
Yep. She just bounces. The only thing that I wonder, look, if it goes to a split decision, I wouldn't be surprised if she wins because they're in the UK.
But here's the other thing. They're in London specifically.
Yeah, and they hate the Irish.
Well, not only do they hate the Irish, where's the second biggest population of Punjabis?
Is that London?
It's London.
Is it?
Did you not know that?
No.
Okay, someone's going to have to correct me on history, but when Gandhi left India, he posts up in London. So there's a massive Indian population in London. We were actually just talking about British food. That's all I ate when I was there. I just had Vindaloo every day. I never left the shitter.
Somebody liked it. But she whips southpaw, rips that left middle kick time and time again. Good power on her hooks. The only way the thing is she's always backing up. She's backing up and she circles out to her.
I don't think she's going to back up in this fight.
I think it would help her. I think it'd do her well.
Why? Because Bannon's going to have to re-engage with her at some point.
Yeah, and every time I think she goes into that fire, she's going to get blasted.
That's what I'm saying. And I think Puja should press her. And as Bannon's doing her taekwondo bullshit on the back, she's going to have to engage. She's going to get cracked.
I disagree 100% because I think the only way that Bannon can win is to play tag, is to touch and move and touch and move and touch and move. And if Bannon is the one going backwards, it's a lot easier to touch and move. But if Punjabi is moving away.
Is that racist? Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I just hear it a lot. Yeah. But I don't know actually.
I'm not trying to be racist. I don't even know that. I just know that that's a name for like an Indian. Yeah. So if I am being racist, I don't mean to. But Tomar. So Tomar going forward allows Bannon to like basically touch and move and touch and move. And Bannon does have a good little bouncy stance where she can literally play tag but not hurt anything ever. And if Tomar is backing up, that forces her to come in. And every time she touches her, she's going to snap like an alligator and just start blasting left middle kicks. And
I want to see a super fight between Muhammad Yahya and Shauna Bannon.
Oh, my God.
I actually don't know who would win that fight. Very competitive, honestly.
But yeah, no, I like Tomar for the upset here just by.
It's crazy she's an underdog.
I can't believe
because
it.
Bannon doesn't grapple like
at
offensively.
All, and she's not physical. And she doesn't hurt people.
She's a part-time fighter. Like, the UFC does not like people that just post ass to begin with. You're supposed to win a few fights, kind of tease the public, and then you start posting ass and making tons of money. But she started it early when she was an Invicta, not making any money. Now everybody looks at her like, we don't really need her.
Yeah.
We don't need her. I think Puja's. I watched some of those ONE FC clips, and I'm like, dude, these people are so much better. For some reason, their striking is incredible, and she's had some really good fights in ONE. I don't know why everyone shits on her so much. I definitely bet a lot against her last time, but not because I thought she was inherently awful. It's because I thought Hayani, whatever, Amanda was pretty good. Yeah. I thought she would grapple her and pace her and all that stuff. But it's not because I thought Puja was bad. In this fight, I think Puja's like
infinitely better.
Yeah. League's better. We're going to look like idiots when Bannon split decisions her 29-28.
No, if it goes to a decision, like if it's anywhere near close, I think Bannon wins. By dumb, stupid split decision, weird stuff. But man, I think Tomar is just so much better.
This is kind of a gift line if like I've ever seen one. Yeah. There's two on this card, and they're both women, surprisingly.
There we have it.
All right, next we have Andrey Pulyaev plus 455 versus Christian Leroy Duncan minus 605.
We need to can we edit that clip into this, the Leroy Jenkins clip?
Jenkins.
What a classic.
Oh, gosh.
Our younger audience isn't going to know that, and our older audience doesn't care.
I hate them both.
You want to go first in this one? You want me to go?
I'll go. What's his name? Pulyaev. We saw him in Contender.
That we did.
And he didn't look bad. He's skinny, of course, and
my memory was a lot different of that fight. Yeah. I thought he looked like world class.
Yeah, no. Well,
in my mind, I thought he looked world class, and then I went back and watched the film.
He looked good because he was fighting a heavy bag. That was a bad. Why? What are we not allowed to say that?
No, I'm with you. Like,
okay.
I made so much money on him from that fight. Same with the Jordan Santos fight because he was fighting Liam Anderson and Will Curry. And then in hindsight, I think Santos is decent, but Pulyaev, whoa.
Pulyaev has good, fast, straight left. What he does well is he actually is aware of kicks. He checks the inside. He's southpaw and he checks that inside low kick. He's pretty aware of that early in fights. As the fight goes on, he'll start to get landed on the low kick a little bit more, but he actually does it well. The thing is, and honestly, even his left hand is good. Like his left kick is good. He's not a bad puncher kicker. He just, man, he leaves that chin out there when he throws, and he's long and he's off balance. And then when you throw at him, he's going to get hit. Like he is not defensively sound.
His footwork is a mess.
Yeah, he's just a tall, skinny, athletic guy fighting a guy who couldn't get him to the ground, who was just bad. And Leroy.
It's funny. I bet on Liam so many times in my life, and I looked at that matchup, and that dude was like, what, plus 200 something? And I was like, dude, Liam's going to get smacked.
Really?
Yeah.
But Leroy Duncan, I think he's 3-2 in the UFC. He's beating up the cans of the UFC and looking great doing it. And then when he takes a step up, he loses. Right? I mean, there's no middle ground with him.
Well, you're right. And this is another fight that's on the same level.
No. I mean, this is a layup fight for Leroy Duncan. I don't see that whatever his name is, Russia boy, is going to be able to put together enough defensive movements to basically take the beating that he needs to take to get Leroy tired. And he's not going to be able to out wrestle him. He's not going to be able to really do it. Because you got to be a good fighter to beat Leroy. You've got to be fundamentally sound.
That's the thing. You have to be the most fundamentally sound.
Yes.
Like when Petrosian beat him, it's just because he didn't fuck off. He didn't get discouraged when Leroy was throwing crazy stuff at him.
And he didn't
stuck him with a jab.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
Pop, pop, pop.
That was it. And honestly, Rodriguez just was in his face fighting him, would take him down, just put together a good 15 minutes.
He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. And then the guys losing are just guys that have big holes in their game. And Leroy's
going to fill all his holes.
By all of them, all 4 of them, all 5 of them. TKO.
Yeah,
TKO.
The dude looks so frail, and I don't mean to be mean. He just, his body.
No, he does look frail. Like he looks like he should be, like, is this at 205?
No, probably 185.
185. He looks like he's emaciated. Like
it's crazy.
It's weird.
You know, even Cormier made a comment about it, like on the commentary. I'm like, that's kind of crazy for him to say. Like, I don't know why. I've never talked shit in a fight before, but this guy one time, he told me, like, when I weighed in, he's like, you're looking pretty skinny. And most times I'd be like, that's such a great compliment. This time it pissed me off. And in the fight, I was like, who the fuck's skinny now? And smacked him. And I don't know why. That's not like a mean thing to say. It's not like calling someone ugly or gay. Yeah. And gay is not bad either. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the way God intended, but it's not gay. You know, it's not bad. I just watched the Shane Gillis special. It is an old special, but he's like, I know like gay is not gay is a choice. He goes, because I have a lot of friends with mental disabilities and they all love titties. They can't even think. Like, that's a good point.
Yeah. Shane Gillis is hilarious.
That's a good point. He's just real skinny and a little bit frail looking. And, I don't think that he can put together, like, first of all, Liam Anderson gets hurt every single punch. The gust blows, and he's like, whoa, on wobbly legs. He was asking him to come into his guard. He's like, yeah, come on, I'm world champ jiu-jitsu. Leroy Duncan is athletic. He can move. He can punch. He does a lot of stupid shit, but it's not going to get exposed to a guy that's like, I think at any point, if he gets bored, he'll just take him down and submit him. Maybe that's the move, CLD submission.
Oh. All right,
next, we have Marcin Tybura, -110 versus Michael Parkin. Also -110.
Give me your thoughts on this. I
like this fight. I'm a massive Tybura fan. I've been betting him since the Romanov fight when he was a massive underdog. Man, he's a guy that just knows his game inside and out. Gonna take a little bit of roughage at the beginning. I'm gonna get close enough to you, body lock you, take you down, or if I get taken down, I'm gonna sweep, come up to the top. His sweeps are legitimately very, very good. But I think this is a bad matchup for him. This is a pick'em line, and I understand why. Tybura's fought the who's who. The guy is really, really good. He is older. I don't know if he's unathletic because he kind of is athletic for being fat.
Yeah, he's like a panda.
It's great,
right?
He's a big Polish panda
rolling around and having fun.
Shit, he's big. I wonder what his like day-to-day life is like. He's just like throwing down vodkas and then training, like sick. I think Mick Parkin's going to win this one. The only thing that I think he's going to run into would be an issue for him is if he lets Tybura start offensively wrestling. If he, he moves better than a lot of heavyweights, especially a lot of the heavyweights that Tybura is beating are big, stiff, slow, fat heavyweights. Parkin can move pretty well. I'm sure he can make 205 if he really put his mind to it. He can grapple offensively. I think if Mick Parkin gets on top, actually, I think that would be his best game plan is to take Tybura down. He's got a good top game. He's got good control, good ground and pound. He moves well. His striking has come a long way. But if Tybura does Tybura things and gets on top of him, that's going to be tough. I would give advantage in the striking to Parkin, offensive wrestling Parkin at a pick'em line in his home. I'm going to go Parkin.
I'm going to go Lucas Brzeski, Mohammed Usman, Kyle Machado, Jamal Pogues. 3 decisions out of 4 UFC fights.
Okay, well, one, he beat a former champion's brother. And
then I'm going to go Jonata Dinez, Tai Tuivasa, Blagoy, Alexander Romanov, Walt Harris, Ben Rothwell, Maxim Grishin.
Okay, you're gonna hate me for saying this. At the stages that they all fought each other, I would actually give Mick Parkin his resume a little bit better than those ones.
The only guy, look, he lost to in his last.
They had to crane into Ivasa for that fight.
In his last,
he was drunk as he got dropped into the octagon.
Last 20 fights, not 20, but probably last 10. He lost to Spivak, who Spivak's a good grappler. Like, he knows what he's doing.
He got armbarred off his back from Spivak.
Tom Aspinall and Alexander Volkov. I actually think the Maxim Grishin fight is a pretty comparable fight to the Mick Parkin fight in the sense of like.
Agree, but Grishin has bad cardio.
Yeah, but like stick and move and hard to take down and like very fundamentally sound and stuff. The issue with Parkin is he's fighting guys that don't fight. I mean, he fought Usman, who just got tired, and Usman's, yeah. And then he fought Jamal Pogues, who's like, let me jab my way to death or victory. Right? I mean, then he fought Kyle Machado.
I love Pogues.
Gosh, I love what could be of Pogues. Not
like if he took it serious.
Pogues. Yes.
He lost the spare tire,
and then he beat Kyle Machado, who's like, not the worst, but man, like he's just a busybody. And so I can't get behind Mick Parkin until I see him fight. If he beats Tybura, all right. But Tybura will actually fight you. He knows what he's doing. He has good cardio for a heavyweight. He can offensively wrestle. He can offensively grapple. And honestly, I mean, these are two big guys. I don't know that, like, Parkin does really well with space when guys are trying to like be in a technical battle against a big, strong guy who's athletic. But he hasn't fought anybody who's fighting him correctly like a heavyweight does. I like Tybura here. I think he's going to win. I think Mick needs to be tested.
The other thing though too is Tybura can always get hurt. Tybura gets hurt a lot.
Yes.
Parkin knocked out Brzeski. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, but Brzeski almost like lunged into that. That was like a weird.
I'm just saying, Brzeski's one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen, and someone got so mad at us for saying Brzeski. I think Brzeski's a fine heavyweight. Like, he moves well, he's got good hands, but Tybura gets hurt every fight, and that could be an issue. If he gets the grappling going, obviously it's going to be some problems, but I don't know. I think you're discounting Mick here a bit.
No, I'm just not sold. I'm just not sold. I want to see him fight somebody who can fight. He might be decent. I don't know yet. I know Tybura is decent. I don't know if Mick Parkin is, because he's beating guys. If he was fighting all those guys and finishing them, all right. He's going close decisions or like.
I actually almost like that a little bit better. Because now you know it's not a fluke. Like, he's showing he can put together 15.
Well, it's not that. I just don't know. Like, if you don't have the power to put some of these guys away, or you don't have the wrestling or the ground and pound or the submission skills, if you don't have something, you're beating the bottom of the heavyweight barrel by decision, and you're not putting these guys away. It's like, all right, well, what are we doing here?
Well, then unload your house on Marcin Tybura.
Bet the house.
I think Parkin's going to win this.
Bet the house.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Next, we have Loughran Kavanagh minus 300 versus Felipe dos Santos plus 250.
Can you say that, but like in Chinese, please?
Which name?
The only one that's Chinese on the board there.
The Felipe dos Santos.
He's
Felipe.
Our boy is Chinese. Loney.
Is he?
He's Chinese.
I mean, it's the China flag.
Yeah. No, I see it.
You don't see it?
No, I see it now. Yeah.
See it?
The people see it too. We see it.
You say this the CCP?
No.
I couldn't watch the last. There's a few fights on this card that wouldn't load for me.
Yeah.
For tape.
I watched it. He looked great.
Okay, I remember him looking good, but I just remember like wanting to go back.
I think that other kid was a little bit green though.
That's what I was thinking, and I wanted to compare because look, we know is good, but has a chin, and he gets hit. And
he's always had a bad chin.
He's always had a bad chin, and so it's like, all right, I know that one, but then I'm biased, and you know him, so I went, all right, let me watch the Ochoa.
The bias has fucked me so many times, like so many times.
It's so many times, yeah. And then, but Dos Santos, I think, is actually legit, dude. This dude's resume. On like 3 days' notice, fought Manel Cape in a war in a really good fight out of nowhere. Then the Victor Altamirano fight in elevation.
Should have lost that.
He should have lost that.
And that was the one we were the most confident. He was like
Yep.
400.
And then the Andre Lima fight where he lost it, but Andre Lima is really good. And Dos Santos had some moments and he looks good and he's decent. He really is good.
We just spent I spent like 20 minutes just like sucking off Andre Lima for that fight. Imagine Andre Lima versus Loney Kavanagh or Andre Lima versus Josh Van.
Oh, just
crazy.
Let's do it. Put it together.
But honestly, I think Lima would beat Loney. I think he would.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think so too. I think you're absolutely right.
Just from the power. And I think that's actually what's going to come into play in this fight. He beat Ochoa in his last fight, who is fine. He's one of those guys that's just going to rack up victories because he's really, really tough, never stops coming forward. You know, he throws some decent volume, but he's not overly technical. And he's going to beat a lot of those low-level guys. And so Loney just picked him apart. He minded his space. The thing with Felipe is huge. Like, not filled out, but I don't think that matters so much if Loney's not going to grapple.
Yeah.
If Loney's just going to strike, Loney has been hurt many times before.
Yep.
He gets hurt a lot. A lot of times that's because he's going to try to kill you every single time. He steps in the pocket, chin is up, he's ready to fire, and he gets cracked. Now you have a guy, how tall is he, 5'10"? I mean, he's pretty tall.
He is, they list him as 5'7".
Okay, well then he's massive. I mean, he is like one of the biggest.
Tallest. That is the tallest height.
Yeah, I mean, it's only up from there. I legitimately
It's only down from there.
I legitimately thought he was taller than that.
Yeah,
he looks.
Well,
taller.
he looks tall. Look, a 5'7" flyweight is massive.
Well, dude, on top of that, dude, they had Zombie listed at 5'7".
That's true.
So then he's 5'10", guys, because Loney's tiny. He's like 5'4".
Yeah,
he's small. But I think the issue is that this guy's like a refined version of the Ochoa. And I don't think that Loney had a lot of separation in that Ochoa fight. He clearly won every round, but it was tight sometimes. Dos Santos can crack. Dos Santos is technical. Dos Santos has high volume. The dude is down to fight. He's going to press him. And then getting around those limbs is going to be something. I like Loney. I think that kid is going to be on a path for greatness. He's going to be competing for a title at some point in his career. But this fight seems really, like the line seems really wide, and it seems like a really tough one for him.
Yeah.
Getting around these fucking limbs of a guy who's down to bang.
So you go in Dos Santos for the upset? I want to. I'm not 100% confident just because I wasn't able to watch that Ochoa fight again, and I wanted to see that. But I kind of like Dos Santos for the upset here, but I don't know if I'm looking at him in rose-colored glasses with how well he lost to Manel Cape in Lima.
You are, because then his next performance was a shitter after that.
I know.
Like, if you had to think about it.
But it was also in Mexico City, too. So it was like, did the altitude and air just mess with him?
Yeah, but the fight before that, he was like EPO's poster child. He was shitting out EPO in the middle of the cop fight.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter when you're not in altitude.
The blood cells.
Like,
I think this is how it's gonna end up going. Like Dos Santos is probably the best guy on the board, best dog on the board, skill for skill, like talent wise, and he's still probably gonna end up losing.
Value loser over here.
Value loser, which is unfortunate because I mean you could always hedge with a little Dos Santos knockout.
Yeah,
Loney loves to come in with that chin up. He got dropped by a little tiny midget, little Spanish midget.
The good thing about Dos Santos, he has a good high guard. Like he is defensively sound.
Very Muay Thai. He's very Oliveira. So who are you going to go with?
I'm going Dos Santos for the upset.
Okay. I'll stick on Loney. Give us a little bit. I think I'm going to pass that fight or just live bet or maybe a Santos KO.
All right. Next, we have Jai Herbert minus 126 versus Chris Padilla plus 106.
I like some Jai here. And I have doubted Chris Padilla in every fight. And I understand what his skill set is now. He is good. Defensively, amazing. He doesn't really get hit very often and never clean. Nice, tight, high guard, like little Muay Thai checks. Like he's very clean fighter. Grappling, better than I expected. He does everything well. The thing with this fight is that he's going to have to deal with Jai's range. And the narrative on Jai has been his chin is bad. Right. But it's been a while since he's shown us a bad chin.
Yeah.
He's had some time to heal it up. That Trinaldo knockout, one of the worst I've ever seen. Just like fell backwards. Crazy. I think Jai's just going to pick him apart. Jai is a really clean striker. He's always been a clean striker, right? He dropped Ilya. he outpoints most of these guys. We thought he was going to lose that last fight to Rolando Bedoya because Bedoya's high volume, good chin, staying in the pocket. At some point, Jai is going to go. I think this fight, the issue with Taco Padilla is that he waits a lot. He's always kind of making reads and waiting and staying safe. And lucky in his last fight that he got that orbital fracture. Because if that didn't happen, I think he's losing the fight. I think he's, maybe 1-1, down 2-0, something like that. Jai's probably a little bit better style against Taco than a Rongzhu is. Rongzhu's down to swing and bang, like we saw in the Cody Steele fight. He wants to be in the pocket trading. Jai is going to pick him and then kick him and pick him again and then add combos. I think Jai by decision is like better than government bonds.
Yeah. I'm with you. I like Padilla a lot. Like, I think he's smart fighter. I think he does a lot of stuff really well.
He comes from the best gym in California. And we kind of have talked about that a lot of times. I think the best gym far and away right now is CMMA. Chad George, I think, is a phenomenal coach. Like he's got all those guys, Victor Henry, Taco Padilla, and he's changing those guys' lives and careers. Very smart camp, very smart fighter.
Yeah, I like Padilla. He makes good reads. You could tell he's like analyzing, thinking, and making the adjustments. The issue is he stays on the outside. And to beat a guy like Jai, who's really long as it is, and then fights even longer, like, you've got to get on the inside and you got to press him and you got to touch his chin and you got to go. And Padilla just doesn't do that. He sits on the outside and he kind of waits and he makes beautiful reads. But like you said, with the Rongzhu fight, Zhu is like swinging and throwing. So he was able to time that elbow and throw it, not cut him, but split him.
Zhu could have done a lot better with just a touching jab, a probing jab.
That's it. Yep. And then Jai, God, he is a slick freaking striker. He is just straight punches, 1s and 2s down the middle, switches stances offline, and then we'll throw another 1-2 in the opposite stance, and then range moves. Defensively, he's like grappling wise, he knows how to defend. He knows how to use his length to defend and just be tall in the move. I mean, he is older. He's 36. But I don't think he's really shown horrible cardio. It's just the chin.
Only
so,
his chin. Yeah, he's been good everywhere else.
Yeah.
Even his grappling's come a long way since the early days.
Yeah, so I like Jai by decision. I think that's a solid one.
All right, cool. Next up, we have Nathaniel Wood at plus 140 versus Morgan Charrière minus 160.
I love this fight. I cannot wait to see this fight.
Just from a visual standpoint.
Forget about betting. Forget about anything. Forget about breaking stuff down. I love this fight. Morgan Charrière is such a good fighter. His offensive grappling is great. His defensive grappling, I thought he won the Chepe fight. I mean, Chepe is 4 or 5-0 in the UFC now.
It's really good.
They're both judo black belts. And then we've seen Nathaniel Wood come up from 35 up to 45 and do well. I mean, even Andrey Fili, who's a big, massive guy, he lost to Naimov, who he should have won.
And he cheated the entire fight.
Cheated the whole fight. He should have won that. I mean, Nathaniel Wood, I think, is going to win this. And the reason Charrière is such a good defensive grappler. He's such a good, like, people tend to try to wrestle him and he defends and he comes up on top and he scrambles. But he's not an offensive fighter. And he finds his way in these losing battles, in these close decisions, because when people fight him, he does such a good job of defending and doing stuff. But even striking, he's there waiting and waiting and waiting. And that calf kick is going to be there. And I think Nathaniel Wood isn't a guy who's going to come at him like Chepe. He's going to stand on the outside. And now, can Morgan absolutely get a takedown? Yes. He can time stuff, get a takedown. His wrestling is great. But usually he gets takedowns off of offense as people are pressuring him. We saw even with Chepe, he tripped him. I mean, he did blast double Chepe and they scrambled a little bit. But I think Wood is more of a touch and go kind of guy. And I think that is going to really help him here because Charrière isn't a guy who's going to go take the fight to Wood. He's going to try and counter and wait for Wood to come in and try and do stuff like that. And I think with a guy like Wood, you need to bully him. You need to be in his face. You need to take it to him. I think the calf kicks are really going to land. And then I think Wood's just boxing down the middle, just throwing and getting out.
Beautiful boxer.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be there to brawl. I mean, he will brawl and he can brawl, but I think Charrière needs people to swing at him like Chape and those guys to come at him and really go, and then he goes under. So I like Wood here for the upset.
I'm totally with you. If Nathaniel Wood had a crazy chin, this is not even a discussion. I don't think. I mean, Nathaniel Wood is damn near a perfect fighter, and I really mean that. Like, his boxing combinations are some of the best that I've seen. He strings together punches, and he is fast as they'll come. His wrestling, maybe not the greatest of all time, but is good. Like, I mean, offensively,
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty
grappling
good.
As a whole. It's decent.
It's really
not
good.
amazing, but
and especially for MMA. He's got good get-ups. He's got good fight IQ. The dude is really solid. If he had an amazing chin, if he didn't get dropped every fight 7 times, like, this is not even a close, I don't think. Because you're right. One guy is pressing the action. One guy is very reactive instead of proactive. Nathaniel Wood at underdog money in his home, I think is a no-brainer. Just going to fill that space with volume and activity. Kid is really good. But this is an amazing fight.
Yeah,
it's weird. I almost feel like the UFC is trying to push Morgan, but Wood is right there too. I mean, he's a great prospect. I don't even know if he's just good. He's just really good.
Yeah, I like Wood. I think he's good. What are the odds in this again?
These fights are in the morning.
Wood is plus 140. Charrière is minus 160.
Okay.
These fights are early morning for us.
I don't know. Probably. I would assume so.
It's morning.
It's not a pay-per-view.
Okay, next one.
I like that.
Nice. All right. Next we have one of the easier names on the card. Jordan Vucenic minus 400 versus Chris Duncan plus 300.
I want to like Vucenic here because he is the better fighter. But Duncan has been at ATT, and those guys can grapple.
Hey, did we say that about Mr. Francis Marshall? Did you watch that fight?
We did say that. And Francis Marshall won that fight.
He won that fight clear.
Like, we were saying that. We said, like, and we were even like, oh, his boxing is better than whoever's. I forget who he fought beforehand. And he was tagging him standing.
Beat his ass every which way.
He was grappling him. Dude, he won that fight. That was a bad robbery.
You know, I feel really bad for him just in his career in general. But like we said, Francis went from the East Coast. Who was he with? Dante Rivera? No,
he was with
shit, I remember this.
Kurt Pellegrino. Yes.
And then who's a good coach too, really good grappler. And then he switched to ATT, and now he looks like top of the division. I mean, that kid looks solid. So now we have another guy, Chris Duncan, at ATT.
Yes, the issue. I mean, we saw him in his last fight get taken down a couple times, just blast doubled out. And so with Vucenic is a much better striker.
And
grappler. Down the middle. The thing with Duncan is just wide stance. Like, he gets hit because he tries to bring everything from around.
Do you know how old Chris Duncan is?
64.
I was gonna say, if you had to guess.
I mean, looking at him, I would say he's 38, but he's probably 25.
He's 31.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at the ages because I was going to say my main point is, like, I like Vucenic because he is talented, good. I think his skills are all better, and he's a much younger fighter. But they're only 2 years apart.
Duncan looks old. That dude looks
that dude has
weathered.
That's just all Scottish people. They all just look fucking weathered.
Grandkids. No, but like Duncan, I wanna think that there's a way for him to win. And I was thinking of him being an ATT and being able to offensively grapple and all of that good stuff. And then I'm watching his last opponent just blast double him multiple times, just straight to the mat. And I was like, gosh, I think he needs more time at ATT before he is able to. I mean, Vucenic took down Guram a couple of times, which that's no easy task. And actually, you guys, go back and watch that Guram fight with Vucenic. And I think it was the 3rd round where he was about to take his back, or he was on his back and about to slide off. And then he kicks upside down off of the cage to like come back and push him over. It was that was amazing. But anyway, yeah, I think Vucenic's submission defense and takedowns and wrestling are significantly better than who did he fight? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who was the last guy that he fought?
Balaji Yoki.
Yoki. I like Vucenic. I think he's going to win it.
Yeah, there's nothing more to say. I'm with you. To me, Chris Duncan is just like, he's a very solid fundamental fighter, but he's just so slow and just robotic.
All right, cool. Moving on. We have Molly McCann plus 160 versus Alexia Thainara minus 185.
Did you tape this one at all?
No, I didn't.
This is the girl I'm telling you. Hold on, let me just pull her up. This Alexia Thainara. What the hell is going on with her? The girl that she beat, this Rose Conceição, she was like a national team wrestler in Brazil. Big, strong, athletic.
So she's never wrestled.
No, she looked like she could wrestle. And Thainara beat the shit out of her.
Really?
And I would argue that Rose Conceição, honestly, probably these days would probably beat Molly McCann.
Well, I'm just looking at the skin tones here. And I'm going, one of them is much more athletic than the other.
Yeah,
and
Molly is a freak.
She is a round freak.
Oh my God. Jesus. Molly McCann, friend of the show. Damn, a round freak. Oh my God. That was messed up.
She's got a spare tire.
Anyway. Down.
No, she did lose weight. Well, let's give it up to Molly.
She did. No, I mean, she's at a newer weight class. But on the women's MMA, athleticism is such a big deal.
This girl's a freak, dude. She's a freak. She's 27. They're both the same height. Ooh, they got reaches on here. She got a 67-inch reach. Molly McCann, 62-inch reach.
Nearly identical.
One girl, vicious punches, crazy power, nonstop volume, never gets tired. Something in that Brazil water.
But Molly has some good spinning elbows.
It's too late, dude. You're trying to get on her good side now. It's too what the damage is done.
What's said is said. What's done is done.
This ball is already rolling down the hill.
Right. Oh man, this meatball's already been eaten.
Mamma mia!
All right,
we're going Thainara.
Let's go. Let's go on to the next.
All right. Moving on. Featured bout of the evening. We have Kevin Holland plus 114 versus Gunnar Nelson minus 134.
I can't take either of these guys seriously.
Gunny's always shown he is good when he fights every 6 years.
Yeah, that's it. So it's like, what are you doing? Are you a fighter or are you not? Like, what's going on here?
He's got some weird shit about him. When I was hanging around with a lot of the Danaher guys, like Gunny's always the one that everyone's just like very mysterious. Yeah. Like he reminds me of like a Jerry, but like actually he probably sleeps in darkness for like months at a time, not days.
Yeah,
months. No food, no water.
He lives in Iceland, right? So he's probably in a cave somewhere, just
with a pickaxe.
Yeah,
crafting
bathing
sculptures
in the salts of the northern seas. I just don't get it. And then Holland again on the other side, like, does he even like to fight? Does he even care about winning? Just like, what is his? I don't even get it. I don't know what his thing is.
He's crashing out because what was once a cool career for him where he's got a lot of wins and he's doing so well and he's making a ton of money. What do you imagine his contract is? 400,000, 500,000?
I don't know, but he's making bank. Now, that said, the De Ridder fight, he took short notice at 185. So maybe he just thought, like the rest of us, he fought Meerschaert. We all saw that Meerschaert fight and we were like, oh, he's going to death gas in 30 seconds.
But it didn't even look like that with Kevin. Kevin was just like, oh, okay.
No, I know. I'm saying maybe that's why Kevin I don't know. He took the fight last minute.
What's confusing to me is this line.
What's the line at?
Holland is plus 114 and Nelson is minus 134.
See, I don't find that crazy.
I find that hear me out before you go, because hear me out.
All right, I'll hear.
He just fought De Ridder.
Yep.
Okay. Gassy guy, can't put together more than 5 minutes of cardio. Versus now he's going against Gunnar Nelson, who has ADCC accolades, has controlled and dominated everybody in the UFC, including Damian Maia. He's got good takedowns. His striking is a lot better than De Ridder's, And we just watched Kevin Holland's last fight where it looked like it was like a fixed fight. Like it looked like he was like, all right, cool. And now he's going against a better grappler, a better striker with more cardio than the previous opponent. And the line is almost to pick him again. That seems weird to me.
It doesn't to me because I think Ridder, again, just size-wise, he's big. And even grappling-wise, when you watch him, I was actually looking at this. I was looking at Gunnar in his last couple fights. Was it the Sato fight where he took him down and he's riding? The way that he's riding on top is more controlling the hips, knees in wrestling type ride. Whereas De Ridder is throwing in hooks and he's long and he's gangly. And so I think Holland was even coming up and building a base before he got broken back down. I think with Gunnar in the same scenario, I think Gunnar rides tighter and more wrestling style. Even if he throws a hook in, he's physically shorter. So I think that long body, Jonathan Pierce, how many times have you had hooks in on Jonathan Pierce and he just stands up and gangles his way out and you're like, why are we back up? Like, how, it's not even real. And I think maybe Holland is so used to that he kind of thought that he could do it. And I think at 170, it's going to be a little bit if Gunnar shoots, I think he'll get the takedown. The thing, though, is if you look at Gunnar, he actually, I think it was against Gilbert and then against Sato, he's trying to clinch upper body. And he's not shooting to the legs at first. He's like trying to grab, and he's not able to. And I think that's actually going to really, really benefit Holland. And Gunnar is like chin up, like stance. I think Holland is going to piece him the fuck up quite a bit. Now, doesn't mean that he's not going to get taken down and submitted.
He's going to get his ass beat for 30 minutes and then come back and get it at the last second.
Yeah, no, but like I think he could hurt Gunnar length style wise, opposite stance. I really think that there's a good chance that he can hurt Gunnar. Gosh, if Holland, if I knew that he was taking it remotely seriously, I'd be like, hey, let's go, because Holland is a decent jiu-jitsu guy. He is a decent grappler. I think this is a pick-em, and I'm not sold on Gunnar because I think his top grappling is phenomenal, and then I think that's where it kind of ends. I don't think his striking is great. I don't think his takedowns are great. I don't think his fight IQ is great. I mean, if he really knew what he was doing, he would literally just walk in, march, grab somebody's leg, and then run to the ground. But then on the other side, is Holland's fight IQ better and technical? I mean, I think Holland is more skilled overall. Like, just
really.
Well, I think if you take like he can strike. He does have jiu-jitsu. He does have good cardio.
You're being a little harsh on Gunnar striking, I think. He does have his chin up. He's very much got that Conor McGregor style, but his range management is phenomenal.
I think it is, and I think a lot of that is predicated on people worried about his wrestling and grabbing and stuff. So I think,
but he does manage distance well. His punches are clean and they're straight. It's not high volume, but I mean, he's.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad. I just think that overall, like, I think Holland's a better striker than Gunnar. I think Holland's jiu-jitsu is good. I think his cardio is good. I think Gunnar is better at what he does, and what he does can be a big hole for Holland, and that's the wrestling and being able to get up and defending. If Holland could wrestle a little, I think he'd be a minus 250.
We're going to lose a lot of credibility on this show for you picking Holland, but I'm actually weirdly like kind of with you.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, look, I get Gunnar. Like, Gunnar's the A side here, and Gunnar should win. Like, Gunnar should just out wrestle him and grapple him and put him on his back. But Holland and his style, it would not surprise me to see him hurt Gunnar, especially with being how inactive Gunnar is.
So we're on a couple different like trends here. So we were talking about Andrea Lee a few weeks ago, and like the fact of the matter was Andrea Lee lost like 5 out of the last 6.
Mm-hmm.
Good fighter.
Yep.
Does a lot of things really, really well. Cannot seem to like actually push it past the finish line and get a win.
Yeah.
And like JJ Aldrich, she's fine and fundamental, but at the end of the day, one girl lost 5 out of 6. She was going to lose, right? That's how Kevin Holland is. I mean, how many has he lost in a row? Like 2 in a row, but he's lost like X amount of the last X amount.
Yeah, he lost to Roman DeLeeds. He beat Oleg Shake. He lost to Michael Page, Jack Della.
Okay, those are fine.
But even that
losses.
Jack Della fight he fought, that was good.
Yeah.
And he beat Michael Chiesa after. I mean, that was a good win, and Ponzinibbio was a good win. I mean, he really is fighting really good guys.
I hate to say that Holland's going to win, literally just because of the activity.
It sounds bad. Like it's like you shouldn't. I mean, it sounds dumb. Like, oh yeah, Gunnar is just going to shoot and take him down and maul him. And I don't think it's going to be that easy. He
makes me look stupid every time because I remember watching him against Hamza, and I got grilled for this a bunch, but his reactions were actually the correct reactions against Hamza. Hamza's just a physical specimen, and he's going to do what he wants to do. But everything he did was exactly right. He hit Granby rolls. He hit whizzers. He was doing stand-ups. He was rolling underneath. He did everything correctly, which told me like he has been working on something. He does look a lot better than his Derek Brunson days, back then. Yep. But he's staying active. He is fighting guys. The last 2 fights have looked weird. The rib injury not continuing was weird. And then this last one, just like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah. So it's like, but here's the thing though, is like, a lot of times you see these guys that quit when they face hardship. And I don't know that, like, I think Gunnar is going to, can grapple him and do stuff, but he's not going to like hurt him and like beat him up and like
hurt his feelings.
Yeah. And so I don't know. It doesn't even make sense to me, but I'm going with Holland for the upset.
I think I'm with you. I'm going to go Holland as well. Literally, I think I think he has to take it seriously because he's going back down to 170.
Yes. Yep.
Which, didn't he just say he'll never go back down to 170?
No, I think he was there. I think he was saying he's not going back to, I think 85 was like, he just took that because it was last minute.
I think it was opposite. I think he had fought 70 for a few fights, and then he was like, I'm not going back to 170. I'm moving back up to 185. Then he gets choked out and embarrassed, and now he's back down to 170. Yeah. So I think he has to take it seriously. Yeah. I think that length is a big issue. You're right. You can't get away with your chin up forever. I'll never forget Chael Sonnen said this before he was crazy Chael. He's just like, when you fight with your hands down, at some point, you're going to have to pay the piper. Like, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He goes, we watched Anderson Silva do it for years. He did it against Weidman. Never the same. Like, you're going to have to pay the piper eventually. And that's how Gunnar, always hands down, chin up. Yeah. Great fundamental striking. Yeah.
All right. In the co-main, we have Jan Blachowicz plus 220 versus Carlos Ulberg minus 260.
You go on this. I'm curious.
This is a tough one. I think at this point in his career, he's just too slow and old for a slick striker like Ulberg. But at any point, he could catch Ulberg because Ulberg does fight hands down a lot. When he does engage, he is there to be hit. And Blachowicz obviously has that power, and he's very fundamentally sound. But I think this is a showcase spot for Ulberg, just to style on him.
See, well, we haven't seen Jan for a little while.
He was with Gunnar in the caves.
Well, then he's winning.
He would win, yeah.
No, like, the thing is, if you look at him with Pajeda, first of all, Blachowicz is durable as shit. He is slow. I don't even think he has good. I don't know if he has good cardio or bad cardio because I don't think he's so slow that I don't think he's.
I watched him versus Pereira, and round 3, I legitimately had to check my player to see if it was like half speed. Both of the guys were like,
dude, it's wild, right? The issue is that Jan can fucking wrestle. And you see him just standing there, not moving. It's like you said, it's like, did I pause this or something? Like, because there's no movement.
Checking my Wi-Fi. Yeah. I kept unplugging it.
Yeah, it's like buffering. Nope, we're playing. It's in 2 times speed. And then all of a sudden, like, nothing is occurring. Jan is just sitting there, just like getting calf kicked and calf kicked and calf kicked. And then it's like, boom, blast double to the mat. And you're like, what the hell just happened?
What was that shit you said the other day? It had me dying. I can't remember. You kept repeating it. But, do you remember what it was? Fuck. Someone go back in the other episodes and tell us what it was.
But anyway.
It was Gomez. I kick and I run. What did you say?
Kick and run. But like, he would just wrestle him. And then I'm going, man, if you get Jan on top of you, against Ulberg, who has not had the best takedown defense, and it showed, some slowing in past fights. And then Jan, I get it. Like, Jan's a dinosaur, man. Ulberg should beat him up, but just Jan, I haven't seen the kink in the armor yet, or chink in the armor.
Whoa! We have covered every race on this episode.
What is it? I don't know. The disruption in the force.
My new caption for this episode is we're gonna come talk about Hitler, Nazis, chinks, and Punjabis.
Anyway, well, yeah, whatever the term is, I mean, he just said we're not seeing it yet. Like,
sorry, one more side note. I said that to my Asian ex-girlfriend once, and it was like a massive fight. And I was like, no, that's a common thing people say, and she was not hearing it.
Well. Yeah, you got to read the room, Brandon. But yeah, I mean, he had a draw with Ankalaev, a split decision loss to Pajeda. Like, I don't know, man. I know Albert. I can't even give you guys a pick on this one. Like, I'll say for literally nothing more than just I'll go Jan since you're going for nothing more. I don't know because look, Carlos is good. He's fast. He does everything right, and he's 500 years younger. Jan looks like he should have a sword. Like that dude looks like a
He's suiting
knight.
up to go fight in Troy.
Yes, like he's just like ready to just blade it out and murder some stuff and pull swords out of stones. And I don't know, but he just won't die. He's there. He does everything well. He'll calf kick, and more than anything, he's just durable. And so, I mean, I assume Ahlberg is gonna win, and I think he could actually get the. Yeah, I'll say Ahlberg. I will say Ahlberg because I think Ahlberg is going to win, but I'm trying to find a way that Jan wins because I could see him getting the upset because all things considered. I
think there's a lot of ways that Jan could win. The thing is like Ahlberg's not a guy. He is so slick and polished and goddamn handsome.
Stupid, sexy Ahlberg.
But he's not a guy that I love at like such big numbers like that because at any point he is liable to get chinned. At any point he is liable to get taken down or slow down. And I think for Ahlberg to win, two things. He's going to have a perfect 15 minutes because I think Jan has a lot more power. Just the way that he throws. He's going to throw 3 punches around, but 2 of those are heaters. Ahlberg will throw 50, but like.
Well, the other thing, actually, you know what Ahlberg does well is he moves well. He has good footwork.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to have to fight a tepid kickboxing fight for about 15 minutes.
He's got to move laterally, whereas even like Padilla just stands there right in front of you. So Jan is able to time that takedown a little bit better. Man, Jan can grapple. Boy can grapple. If he shoots and gets him down once, like, bet the house.
And then, because then the cardio is going to start sinking for Ahlberg trying to get up and dealing with that. I think Ahlberg's going to have to fight a very timid 15 minutes. You know, in his last fights, we've been seeing him one punch guys. Weird, almost fluky stuff. I don't know. If you had to replay it, I think a lot more of his fights are like.
Well, no, we saw it with was it Fabio Charrière where he just like he death gassed with Kennedy and Chukwui right before that. And so then, I mean, Charrière, where he should have murdered him, was like touch and move, touch and move, touch and move. And look, we're not comparing Charrière to Jan, but we're comparing the way that Ahlberg fought Charrière to how he needs to fight Jan to win.
And you look at a guy like Menifeld. Menifield's all over the place. Menifield's kind of a mess. Like that dude.
What is he? Is he good or is he bad? You know what I mean?
Well,
what is he doing?
He's bad, but he's dangerous. Like technically he's not perfect. He's just a big, strong guy, but he swings from China. Like he's so wide with the shots. And so Ahlberg can sneak those down the middle. Jan is, he's precise. Like he is clean. I think it's going to be I think it's going to go to decision one way or the other. Okay. But I think it's Ahlberg by decision.
See, I actually think if Jan wins, I think it's actually inside the distance. I think
I would agree with that.
I think if Ahlberg wins, it is a decision. I think if Jan wins, it's a second, third round TKO / rear naked choke. Him on top. He gets the takedown. Ahlberg's trying to come up. He's got one hook in, half guard, punching, and then either rear naked or pounds him out right there. I don't know.
All right, in the main event, we have Leon Edwards plus 131 versus Sean Brady minus 151.
I love me some Brady. And man, his takedowns against actually KG. Fuck, they were good. Man, but that said, KG didn't show up to fight. And I don't mean that like he didn't
He showed up to cut weight.
Showed up to cut weight. And you've heard me say this before. So many times people look at the weight cut as such a big thing and they make the weight and they get so excited that adrenaline dump occurs and then they don't really have it for the fight. And that was really, there was a big adrenaline dump with KG because it was he cut weight for like 500 hours in a row. I mean, it was brutal that weight.
He started at 400.
He really put in work for that weight cut. And when he made it, he was just elated. It's been a long time since he was at 170 and yada, yada, whatever. I think KG at 185 is better because I think he's there to fight and it's not so much about the weight cut. And we see that with a lot of people. Like they cut so much weight that it's hard for him. But KG did a good job. He tagged him a few times, looked good, got back up, just whatever. But Brady's good. He's a good grappler. He's Anya. He's solid. We even saw him against Gilbert Burns, who has traditionally been a very good wrestler and a very good anti-wrestler. And I mean, Burns was in his guard, the end of the fight and sitting there. The issue with Brady is this stand-up and is the way that he blitzes a lot of the time is he comes running in with these 1-2s, kind of runs in and then drops, where I think that's going to be bad for against Leon. I think Leon's clean. The thing that Leon does really well off of his takedown defense is he blocks the wrist. As he gets underhooks. He's always digging both side underhooks, and he's blocking the wrist to separate. We saw it in the Bilal fight. Man, go back and watch it, because Leon's takedown defense against Usman is phenomenal, and he's doing well. It takes him down. And Bilal, all you young fighters out there or in the room, like, you watch how he would get the takedowns, and he wouldn't shoot, run to the cage, and then finish his takedown. He would shoot, lock his hands, and immediately bring him up. So there was no counter wrestling on it, which was
you're in
the air. And then when he wasn't able to immediately get him up, he wasn't able to do that. Brady's chain wrestles more traditionally and without his hands locked like that. I think if he wants to beat Leon, he should watch that fight and watch how he snatched him up out of the air. But I think Leon's cardio is going to be great. Leon said it. You never know with excuses. They're weird, but he said the time of the fights really messed with him, because even though they were in England, they were super early in the morning, so they could be for the American audience. And so he's like, that really messed me up. And he had moments, you know what I mean? So can Brady go 25 minutes with Leon like Bilal did without getting hit? Imagine that Leon was less than 100% for that fight. And now imagine he is 100% for this fight. I don't know that there's a way that Brady can put a perfect game plan together against a perfect Leon. I think a perfect Leon beats a perfect Brady every day. I think you'd have to have a subpar Leon to lose to Brady. So, it's not an overly technical analysis in that sense, but I love Leon's range, his movement, fast, and then again, his takedown defense, his fight IQ. So I like Leon here.
Honestly, that's enough analysis you need. We everybody watching knows what Leon does. Good kickboxer, good counter wrestling. Like, that's just who he is. That's what his game is. Honestly, it's pretty surprising that in London that Leon is the underdog to Sean Brady. Like, it wasn't that long ago where people were shitting on Sean Brady like he was the worst guy on the planet. And then he goes and beats the hell out of Gilbert Burns, and everyone's like, oh.
And admittedly, I was like, oh man, he beat Burns. I went and watched that. Burns looked old. Burns is done. Like, he
did look old, but Leon
is old and slow and like lumbering and like looping punches. Gilbert did. Whereas Leon can still snipe some stuff down the middle.
I think the difference here's to me the biggest difference is Gilbert, as slow and old and whatever he is, he loves to fight still. He's not like Leon, who will skirt the edges. Like, watch Leon's fight against Colby. He was, skirting the edges, counter wrestling. I'll touch you 3 times around, and now I won. Bang the round. And, it got interesting towards the end. Bilal took him down a bunch of times. I know what you're saying about Brady's style is different. First of all, Bilal is just a really smart fighter. Like, he's probably done the most with the least in UFC history.
Right? And he's getting better, and his striking is not good, but he's effective with it.
I think it really is good now. I think he was.
Like, fundamentally, like, it's not like what you would traditionally say is the good striking, but he makes it work and he moves well. He fights well above his technical abilities on the
I remember when him and Leon came out that very first round, and Bilal just starts firing jabs, like 10 jabs in a row. Yeah. And I went, ooh, this is going to be a long night for Leon, because Leon wants that slow kickboxing fight. Let me see. And he makes good reads and he'll pick you apart. But Bilal said, no. I'm going to be right here. I'm going to hit you a million times. And then when you think that that's what we're doing, whoosh, underneath. Brady kind of did the same thing in that last fight. Honestly, I couldn't believe how good his striking looked in the last fight. I know you're saying Burns looked bad, and yes, that is true, but Brady's looked better than he's ever looked.
No, he does. He looks a lot better.
Honestly, everyone shit on him for the Michael Chiesa fight because his nose got broken and he got tired, but dude, your nose got shattered. You can't breathe out of your nose anymore. You're going to be you have to mouth breathe. That's the only choice. And he exerted a lot of energy, trying to take him out of there. I think whatever new strength conditioning plan he's on is working for him. Whatever boxing he's been doing is working for him. I think Leon, he had this like crazy aura about him. Everybody loved Leon. And I think now that he's lost his title and he's not fighting again, immediate rematch for the title, I think things are going to be a little different for him. I think now he's got kind of the silk sheets. He's already been a champion. I think things are different for him. I think Brady's hungry. I think he's got he wrestles different than most people. I know you say it's more traditional wrestling, but it's not real.
No. He's a phenomenal cage wrestler. When I'm saying,
He doesn't lift.
he doesn't do what Bilal did and just immediately lock his hands and lift.
Oh, okay.
Like he cage wrestles, but no, he's a phenomenal cage wrestler.
Yeah, but the one thing Brady does differently, and people ask us all the time, I think the Philly guys are the best jiu-jitsu guys in MMA, period. And they never get the recognition. I think they are the best. And he's going to put Leon on the cage. And when Leon's expecting, okay, this little underhook is going to work and this is going to work, now he's tripping out your leg. And then when you defend the leg trip, now he's reshuffling and locking his hands, and then he's going to lift you and take you. He's got insane strength. That's on all accounts. Like, that dude is the strongest ox. I'm sure Kelvin probably said the same thing. Like, can't move this guy. His top control, phenomenal. And I think he can hang on the feet now. I don't think it's a wash on the feet. So for that reason, I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. I like Brady.
You're like, for that reason, I'm going Leon.
I build up the entire case and choose the other guy. No, I think I like Brady just literally on activity, youth, hunger, grappling. I like Brady here.
Okay. That's it, folks. Early morning wood.
We're super split on this card. I'm excited.
I think only on a couple.
I'm going 100% on this one. So it's unfortunate anybody that, tails you, but this is 100% card. I feel it.
All right. You heard it here first. Brandon, 100% Brandon.
Thanks, guys. Hey, check out a couple of shout outs. Check out the Patreon, the Discord, subscribe on YouTube, send this to your friends, family, even family you don't like. This is a way to reconnect.
Yeah.
Second, I forgot to bring them, but our old teammate, Becky, she sent me some dates.
Oh, nice.
Some MetaJewel dates. So check out MetaJewel dates. I'll have to put the link up so that she can buy some. She sent them for all of us, but I just ate them all. So
sounds about right.
And yeah, that's it. I think that's all we got.
See ya.
See ya.